Hello, everyone, and happy Friday, and happy Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully, you guys are going to have a great weekend. Have some fun things planned. Stay safe, and most importantly, I hope you guys had a green day today. I had another green day. I have yet to have a losing day with this strategy. The LRC is really amazing. You have to give it a shot. At least try it. I don't know if I would suggest paper trading it. I don't really like paper trading. It doesn't really give you the proper entries. Maybe just do it manually, or you could always join our Discord channel and come in and follow along. Just listen and see when we take entries, um, when we exit the area callouts. So I wanted to do a recap of today and a little bit of a information on yesterday. So I had a losing trade yesterday on AMD, and I will give a quick, brief reason why. Really, mainly it was because I had a bias, and so it caused me to miss some good things. I was able to make up my loss, although it was a pretty decent loss, but it was. I'll show you why it was more of a loss than what it would normally be, but that happens sometimes in options. So this is what happened yesterday. When we were in when the market had started, I was watching AMD. I was really biased, thinking that AMD. I do not know where it went. AMD was going to follow Nvidia. And if you had watched, the day before or the pre market, Nvidia had earnings and it just shot up, and so I was watching Nvidia to see if Nvidia was going to uh, go the direction of. I'm sorry, AMD was going to go the direction of Nvidia, and Nvidia was just going, not straight up, but it was going up. Where I made my mistake, and I hope this helps you guys too, is I have a rule for myself. I watch ES and Nasdaq, and I have them on 5 minute charts. But you can watch it however you like, of course. And I just pay attention to where they're at. Are they coming up to major support resistance levels that I have drawn in? Are they rejecting them and moving down? Are they have they already bounced and they're moving up to a level? And are they moving together? So, moving together gives us a pretty strong market, a good strong move. Well, here's what happened to me. So once I watched this hit the 172, I wanted to take a trade if AMD got above 172 and held for the upside. And interestingly enough, it was working out perfectly in conjunction with Nvidia. When I took this trade, the green candle closed above, and as soon as this candle moved above the close, I got in. I actually was able to scalp or take a couple off here. I got in. I got in pretty heavy. What was really dumb on my part is I'm sitting there watching Nasdaq and ES, and I was telling the guys in Discord, do not, this may not be a good idea. I'm trading against my rules. If you're ever saying that to yourself, don't trade. Just don't trade. It's not worth it. But again, my bias and my mindset that day, Thursday, was it's gonna go and it's gonna go up high, and I was gonna trade it to 175 and then maybe hopefully further up. I think 180 was my next level. So I got in, held, and then when this candle came down and wicked up, I actually added. I got in even heavier right on this candle here because I thought, okay, this is confirmation that this is going to continue. Nope. I got this candle and I sold. I think I did. I don't believe I sold until it was out here. So I lost quite a bit on this trade. Lesson learned, just do not trade against the NASDAQ, against the ES moves, especially if the ES and NASDAQ are wicking off or have retested a big, what I'm going to call a major support resistance level. Usually like a 4 hour or 1 hour, 4 hour pivot level or resistance. and support level. If that's happening, you absolutely do not trade. Like if say Nasdaq is rejecting and wicking down off of a major level, don't ever buy calls into that. That's just, you're just going to get taken out most of the time. Of course, you may find one stock that doesn't care what the market's doing that day, but it's just not, the probability is low. It's not worth it. So I didn't listen to my rules. I lost on this trade. However, I did hop back in on this huge candle here, and I scalped to 168 and made back a little bit, but I didn't get in as heavy and I didn't make as much money. Unfortunately, I did not ride this all the way down. I got out, I think, because I was befuddled from my loss, but I was looking for other trades. Got in several trades that day. This was a beautiful trade, and to explain my system, you can't see it here because I'll see if I can get it to draw in manually. It only works on the day before. I mean, the day of the anchored LRC. So this will get us close. This is what the LRC looked like the day that on Thursday, and it was a tight channel. So that also works out to being really good a lot of times. It was a tight channel. It broke above the LRC here. It broke above the major level. That's usually a bang bang 100% play if the market's working with it. That was the caveat. That's what took me out. But in any event, the way I trade is I use the 200 EMA, the 20 EMA, and I use support resistance levels that I draw in manually. And then I have my LRC, and I'll fast forward to today. But I did end up, the beauty of this system is I have had losses, but I've never had a loss for the entire day since I've started trading this. Some have been great days, some have been just okay, but no matter what, I've been able to pull out of a hole when I was in a hole, in the red, and I've ended green every single day. So to me, that's been amazing, and that's been now for 2.5 weeks or 3. I think I'm going on 3 weeks of not having one day without a green day. I have never done that in my entire trading career. I haven't even been close to that. Matter of fact, today I thought may be my first day, and I'll show you what I did there. Again, another dumb trade. But to show you how this trade works, or the system works, this that was Amazon yesterday. So let me get rid of this. Go over here. So this is today. How the trades that were available today. Well, it keeps flashing back. I do not know why that's doing that. I wonder if it's like sticking and it keeps pulling it back. I saw this at the end of the day, and it's kind of tough to trade very late, but every now and then the system will set up where it's amazing late. So this would be a good example of what to look for, especially in these circumstances. So this is like an A plus trade. What makes this an A plus trade is, one, you have the 200 kind of running flat, right? You also have, well, this is one of my support levels that I had drawn in, and I know that that was a pretty significant level. It pivoted off of it. It respected it several times, I think the last week or so. So anyhow, once this, it comes up, it's wicking off the upper LRC line. Once it broke the 20, then that's when I start paying attention, right? And it broke the 185.85. At the same time, it broke over the 200 and the LRC. This would be your absolute get in candle. Do not care. Just get in. Don't worry about anything else. If it comes back up and closes back above, and I would say at this point you would have to have 2 closes above. The reason being is how aggressive this went through. That doesn't always mean everything, but the angle of your 20 and the flatness of your 200 at the time this takes place, it almost always tells you you're going to have momentum and a trend to the downside. So if you get in here, your risk is super low. You you wait for, if it pushes above, don't get out on the push, unless you need to be super low risk. I mean, you trade you, right? But this is how I would trade it. I would not. I would, even if it came back up and closed above, or even from this candle came back and closed above, I would have to see another green candle above that candle close. Before I got out. So my risk may be a little higher, and of course you hope it isn't a giant candle, but that's part of trading. You have to have that risk. But you get in here and literally you don't get out till the end of the day, and um, that's just amazing. I missed that towards the end. I'd already stopped trading today because I was, excuse me, I'm yawning. I was very green, even though I lost a lot on Nvidia today. Um, so I'll show you that, but I was able to make it back, and so far I've always been able to make it back, and I think that that's just added more and more confidence to my trading. Where I used to just end days red and frustrated, and not with this strategy. So, well, what I traded on Nvidia today is I got into some garbage actually. This is where this is, and you'll see why it got me so bad. I I followed the rule, and the only thing that was bad about getting in Nvidia is, again, I was hoping that it was going to continue on the upside against the dang market. Nasdaq was going down again. ES was going down, pushing off a level. But I entered here. I could have taken a decent amount of. I did scale out. I always scale out on really big pushes like this. I scaled out some, but I held and I held, and I ended up. I can't remember the total. Between $500 and $700 loss on this one candle, because I added in this when this came down and went back up. I added in, so I had more than I probably should have. I over leveraged because I was really hoping to get a new high a day and up to this LRC line. So again, traded against the market and I paid for it again. So apparently I didn't learn on Thursday. Hopefully today will burn enough to help me learn. Maybe it would be better if I didn't make back my losses during the day, and that would help me to remember it the next time. Um, but I did trade AMD today, and I got a lot of really good trades on AMD. And one of the things that this strategy has helped me with, could be good and bad maybe in the future, but I've really become more aggressive in that I was teaching what I was seeing and what I was back testing, but I wasn't always trading it, to that extent. And I'm starting to trade it. I finally was like, why am I teaching something, but I'm not following through with that every time? And I think it just comes down to FOMO and trading your you get enough profit and you move on, but you could have made double the profit. Of course, that adds more risk to your trading, and I'll have to manage that as I go. But so we had this move here. I caught I caught this move first thing. I got in really heavy here. I got in. I think I say really heavy. It was like 20 contracts. I went ahead and got out on these candles. I was up significantly on this. I then, when I had a pullback to the LRC, I waited for this candle move here and I got in again. And this time I can't remember how much, but I was in again pretty heavy. And I got to ride it up. I rode it up to 165, I believe, or maybe I ended here. So then my next level, because I got out, was 165. And when this happened, oh no, actually I did ride that one up to 165, and I went ahead and took profit. I waited to see what was going to happen here. It came back down. I was all out, I believe, at this point. It came back down. I then it when it went back up and closed, I got back in again, and I rode it up to 165.89. At this point, I took all out again. I waited, and I even was telling the group, "Hey, if this comes down and wicks back up off of this 165, I'm going back in." And I did. As soon as this wicked up, I went in. I moved up. I took profit again. On Fridays, I take profits really quick because I've been just chopped up and lose a lot. So needless to say, I think over my trading up to this point, and even I think I may have even taken this one. Um, if you see the pullback and then move, pullback, and then you take this candle. And then if it goes against you, you get out. Your risk is really tight, but if it goes up, your reward is great, right? So that's how I've been trading in the last few days, and it's really paid off. Um, so that was one of the trades that I traded today. Trying to remember if I really traded. Oh, I did really well towards the end of the day on SPX as well, so I added even more. After I quit, I came back in because I saw some late day setups. I use SPY to trade SPX. Um, so if you were these were all these levels I drew in more towards the after more towards the end of the day. They were not there prior to the day starting. But if you were going to trade this using SPY or SPX, whatever you want to trade, right here is an absolute perfect scenario to trade. As the day's going on, you see this. You would actually get in here, no problem. You would. This one would be kind of tough because you did cross over all of them, but you just wicked back down really hard. A lot of times I would wait until I get a move over, which would have been this candle because it moved over the close, not the high, and would have been in drawdown. But as long as I'm above my 20, you just hold it, and so it still would have been a great trade even if you took this one here. It would have been a little hard to stay in on SPX, because this would have kind of probably made you really nervous because that's a pretty significant move on SPX. Sorry about that if you could hear my dogs barking. But this is the perfect move. Um, Absolutely beautiful. Comes down, wicks up off the LRC, goes above the 20. This is your entry right here, folks. Right there. You get in, ride this to the moon. Just a beautiful trade. It doesn't get any easier. I know some guys probably are getting tired of me saying how easy it is, but it is. Maybe it's because it's become easy to me. I hope it becomes easy to you and you have confidence and calm trading like I have now with this system. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys have a great, happy Memorial Day. Please hit that like button, share. That would help. And leave me some comments. Let me know if you have any questions or would like to see, anything specific on the system that I'm trading. And anyhow, I appreciate you watching and have a great 3-day weekend.